Hello, guys. I want to come back on here and I want to talk about how wanting to be liked is completely blocking your success. And this is such a serious thing. And it's been on my heart for the last couple weeks because I have gone through such a shift my own self about my own self-worth, my own values, my own path, and how much of what I have done and haven't done has revolved around people's opinions of me, and people's maybe dislike of what I'm doing, or not having an actual belief in what I'm doing, because they don't care to understand, or they're just jealous, or they just feel like they're better, whatever it is. There's so many different things that issues people have, but the point is that you have to think about this very seriously. We all have imposter syndrome. We all, we all have a desire to be liked. Like, everybody, I believe, has that. But, how is wanting to be liked quietly running your life and also ruining your life? Okay. Now, it's not like it's a dramatic way, but it's in the small invisible decisions that you're making every single day. The post that you didn't publish because so-and-so might see it. I mean, I don't know how many times I've not done this. I finally came around to blocking certain people, not because I dislike them or because I don't love them, but because I know deep down inside they don't support me. I know deep down inside they don't want to see me succeed because whatever their own insecurities or their own beliefs about what I should be doing and what I'm good at, but what I'm not good at, or where I should stay, and I had to make a decision that I can't let this person or these people, they're, if it's multiple people or whatnot, make the decision for me of what I'm going to do with my life or not do with my life. It's my life. It's not yours. And, you also have to think, I've had customers in the past where I wouldn't raise my pricing because I was afraid I would upset them. And then I thought about it logically, and I'm like, it's my business. If I'm going to continue to be in business, I have to raise my prices and I have to charge what I'm worth. And I will tell you right now, with my cake business, I am worth a lot of money with my cakes. If you go take a look at my cakes, I'm pretty much the premier cake designer for Colorado. My cakes, I've been doing cakes for 18 years. I'm a luxury cake designer. I should not be charging any less than what I'm charging. Just period. And it's not because of arrogance. It's because I have been vetted for what I do. I have put in the work hours. I've put in the skill, the hours of learning these skills. I have invested tremendously monetarily and time-wise into my skill sets. And they should pay me a certain amount of money. And I have no guilt about that. Whereas I used to be like, oh, I don't know if they can afford it. If they can't afford me, they can't afford me. Then I'm not the cake place for them. They can go to Whole Foods. They can go to Walmart. That's, what I'm saying? I know what I'm worth now with cakes. So you have to really be convicted about what you're worth in your business, and know that you're bringing value with whatever you're doing. And that way you have that conviction. So when these people show up, that even if they're a friend, I hate to say it, but I've got friends that I love to death, but I just know deep down inside they don't support this. They don't understand, for example, trying to build a YouTube channel or trying to do things online, because to them it's like, oh, you're not in a corporate thing, and so that doesn't mean anything. When I've been in corporate, I was in corporate for, if you count all the time total, probably over 16 years I was in corporate, and I know corporate's not for me. I know that I can make more money not being in corporate. I can make more money building something, even if it takes longer, it's still going to make more money, and it's going to be residual income over time than if I stay in that hourly position or that salary position. That also, be as an ADHD entrepreneur, I can't grow. I have to be motivated. I have to like have dopamine hits, right? I have to be into what I'm doing in order to continue to do it. I was so miserable in my corporate job, my most recent corporate job, because I had no stimulation, because I knew I could do the job like in the back of, what is it, in the back of my head. Like I just could do it with, and there was no push for growth. There was nothing new, and that lasted for almost 9 years. And I did it because at the time I felt that it was a stable job, and it ended up not being a stable job, and I knew that. And it was like I could do it easily, and it provided for my family at the time. But then I had to really step out of my comfort zone and go after things to build a residual income, because I just knew it was coming to an end. I knew that I was going to be faced with certain decisions, and I was. And I'm so glad I had made the choice about a year prior to that to go in a different direction and go in like all in on my business. Now, you also have to think, it doesn't feel like fear, but it's more like, it feels like being nice, right? You're being easy to work with. You're being low drama. But the truth is, you're actually not protecting your relationships. It's actually shrinking you. So you want to ask yourself, like, where is this showing up in your specific life? Okay. Now I want to just briefly talk about, I don't want to keep bringing up the situation that's just happened, but the reason I want to bring it up right this second is because it forced me to grow in ways that I didn't even know were possible, or that I knew that I was even aware of. And with this, when I say the situation with this individual that, completely tried to destroy my life over a misunderstanding of something that happened like 21 years ago with a relative of this person and myself. And this person that we basically took care of, we didn't charge rent, lived in our home, and just did atrocious things. But again, this is not about that. What this is about is that this was so stressful, the situation, that it forced me to be birthed, if that makes sense. It forced me to, like, it annihilated every little bit of me that was still, had a fear of people disliking me, because this person hated me. Vehemently hated me at the time, at least, and wrote scathing, horrible, horrific emails to me. From a fake email. Posted things on my website. Not only stole, monetarily stole money and resources, and was on my computer and all that kind of stuff. But my point is that this forced me out of any comfort zone that I had left remaining, okay? And that now I'm realizing, in the grand scheme of things, this needed to happen. Now, I wish it didn't happen this way. Because it was, to this day, it's absolutely horrible, and it does not excuse this person. But if I had not gone through it, and I had not now truly overcome the fear of being disliked, I wouldn't be in the position I am right now. I wouldn't have generated like $6,000 in a couple days in my business had I just kept being small and afraid, and like not making plans, because I'm just not sure, like, if someone's going to accept this, and I need to keep tweaking this because, make sure this works. No, I need to just put it out there and stop farting around. You know what I mean? Same thing for you. You've got to deal with this. Everybody has this, but you have got to deal with this if you want to move forward in your business. And you want to kind of ask yourself, like, what is the feeling? Because I've been doing a lot of frequency training. It's like, where is it at? Is it in your chest? Because that's where it was for me. It was like this fear in my chest. Like, where is it in your body? And there's ways to process the stress out. I always recommend doing the Healing Code by Dr. Alex Lloyd. You can look that up right now on YouTube. It's totally free. It's like, takes a couple minutes. And it will actually absolutely change your frequency. Okay. Meditation is another thing that that absolutely works. Walking. I have been religious about walking, making my bed every morning, and doing things that, repetitive, boring things, because I needed to be on a routine. And this is where the money's made, in routine and boringness. And this is the thing that ADHD entrepreneurs we just don't want to be bored, and this is where my artwork comes in, like my artwork and also my cakes and things like that, because that gives me a creative outlet. But I want you to think about right now where you're feeling this fear. And I had to sit with it for a while. And I went over every interaction between this person and I, trying to figure out the moment that I did something wrong that deserved what this person did. And I just couldn't find it because it wasn't there. And it was all based off a partially false accusation with one side of the story. But they still didn't like me. They still hated me. They still did all these horrible things, right? That sentence, though, when I was like replaying everything and I thought it out and wrote it out and journaled it, changed everything, because, it made me realize someone is always going to dislike me. Someone is always going to dislike you. Always. It's not like might, not if you mess up. It's just always, because, even if you've done everything right, you've been generous, you've been patient and kind and shown up exactly the way you wanted to be treated. Being disliked isn't proof that you did something wrong. Sometimes it's just proof that you exist and that you are a human being, that you take up space and that you have opinions and that you are visible enough to have an effect on someone, right? So once you accept that it's guaranteed that someone is going to always dislike you, not a risk to manage or nothing like that, but a fact that you're a person in the world, it stops being a threat. It becomes basically like the weather. It happens. You don't take it personally anymore. You just keep walking. And I have to say, I'm actually really proud of myself where I've come to from where I've come from. I used to attract a lot of drama, a lot of chaos. And I am done with that shit. I am done. After this situation, this knocked the wind out of me, and it got me to a place where I took responsibility and accountability for what my part in it, even though I don't feel like it was near anything of what this person acted out upon. The level that they acted out upon was deserved, you know what I'm saying? Because it wasn't. But my point is, I took responsibility for in the energetic sphere of attracting this. And I'm like, never again. And so, here's what actually matters. You don't get to vote on whether people like you or not. You never did. You can be endlessly kind, endlessly nice, fair, good. I was a great friend to a childhood friend of mine, and she always was the type of fair weather friend. And there's nothing wrong with that. I still talk to her to this day. It's very superficial friendship. But it's okay. That's who she is, and I've accepted that. But my point is that it didn't have anything to do with how I was, because I was a good friend to her. And I think if she really sat down and thought about it, she'd realize that. But you get to vote on what you do next, right? So there's two paths, okay? Path one is you chase the approval, you shrink, you over-explain, you stay small and safe because it feels safer than being disliked again, and you don't post on YouTube, and you don't, go after your dreams or whatever your or create the art that you create, because you think, well, someone may not like that kind of art, or someone may not like that kind of writing, right? Someone may not like me to say the word fuck. I'm just going to be real, It's just block those people. If you are a business person and you are on social media as part of your business and you are going to use cuss words, and this person's whatever, religious, and will not be cool with it, then just block them. Just block them. You'll attract the audience you're supposed to attract, but 9 times out of 10, your family and friends are not going to be your audience. They're not going to be your clients. They're just not going to be the ones that you end up, making your money from. And also, and quite frankly, as a friend told me, if they're not paying your bills, what do you care about their opinion? Right? Are they paying your bills? No. So why do you give a flying fuck about their opinion? You shouldn't. So, or you can choose path 2, which is you accept the dislike as the toll you pay for being visible. And that's what I've chosen to do. For having that business, a voice, a life that takes up space, and you keep building anyway, So that choice, not their opinion of you, is what actually determines where you are in 6 months, a year, 5 years. The energy you move into after the moment is the only lever you've ever really had. That's it. So here's how you actually use what I've been saying today. This is in the moment type of script thing. When you feel someone's energy shift towards you, you say this to yourself. This is uncomfortable, but it's not dangerous. Your nervous system doesn't know the difference until you actually tell it. So 2 is you got to put that boundary up that you've been avoiding. So naming one thing right now that you've been putting off purely because you were scared of being disliked, a price increase, a conversation, a tough conversation, a no, do it this week. And then the daily reminder, say it to yourself as often as you need to. Being disliked by the wrong person is not evidence against me. It's not evidence against what you're doing with your life or what you are doing to be, to be paid what your value that you're bringing to the marketplace. So the moment that wrecked me, not moment, but situation spent months of wrecking me and finally was resolved, just shows you don't get to control who likes you. You don't, you get to control who you become because of it. You get to control who you become anyway, in spite of being disliked. So if this hits for you, tell me in the comments. I want to hear what you have to say about your journey through not being liked, and I want to hear about you overcoming and coming out on the other side of this, because this is very serious stuff. This is the deep work, really. It's the deepest work pretty much that you can do. And it's necessary for anybody that wants to succeed in business. I want to say one more thing. I remember when I was selling Yellow Page advertising, and it was the toughest job. And I made no money from it. But boy, did that job absolutely teach me how to overcome not being liked, not being wanted. Because you had to go in there and you had to prove your value to them within seconds, because people form judgments right away, especially if you're trying to sell something cold to somebody like that, walking in their door and just trying to take up their time. They don't want to hear it most of the time. So you had to have a quick elevator speech that was but you had to be very, very dynamic. You know what I'm saying? When you walked in the door. And I got better and better. I never fully overcame the fear, but I would give myself a certain amount of calls that I had to do. And I just would always tell myself, it's okay, the next one, there's gonna be 10 rejections. There'll be 1, maybe, there'll be, and there'll be 1 sale or whatever. I do the numbers in my head, and it was a numbers game for me. And I turned it into a gamified it, and it made it so much easier. And then I also had a partner that worked with me at the Yellow Pages, and to this day she and I were in the battlefield together. So we're pretty much best friends for life, because we went through that tough season as Yellow Page advertising sales executives. And that job to this day, even though it was the lowest paid job, and I ran my car into the freaking ground and got paid no mileage pay, it totally transformed me as a person in my 20s. So, I believe that gamifying things and also not allowing yourself to take too long with something. So like the 5-second rule, I talk about that a lot. You know, Mel Robbins' 5-second rule, like you count down and you just do the thing. And so if you're scared or whatever, just do the thing. But at least if you just start and you start to think about, what am I really afraid of, and who am I the most afraid of not liking me, and then deal with that head on. And that's really the only way to deal with it. And sometimes you will lose friendships. And I don't know if I've lost them or what, but there's a friendship that I thought would be forever, and this person, because of a misunderstanding, just stopped talking to me this year. I was devastated at first, and then being in this mastermind this last year has completely changed me for the better. And quite frankly, I'm okay if this person never contacts me again, because I know I did everything right. I know it within my own heart and conscience. And if this person makes a decision that they don't want to be friends with me anymore because of this stupid misunderstanding, then we're not meant to be friends. You know what I'm saying? And it's okay, because I love you. I release you. I'll be okay. And you'll be okay. And it's okay, because when you're in a higher frequency, you can let go and trust the universe, trust God, and it's okay. It's okay, because God will bring those people to you that you're supposed to be in your life. But you've got to let this crap go. You've got to let the old you go. You've got to release the want. You know, scripture came to me when I was driving down the road. You know, I don't know what psalm it is, but it says, you know, it's the famous one. It says, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want." That's powerful, but it's scary, because it's like when we want and we crave and all that, that's a lower frequency. We don't want to be. We want to be in a place where we trust the universe, God, source, to bring those things into our lives that are supposed to be there, and everything else, I don't want it. If it's not for me, I don't want it, right? And that goes for so many things. Relationships, I mean, houses, cars, material things. I mean, it could be so many different jobs, you know? So anyway, I hope this helped you. Leave a comment or tell me what you are going to overcome fear-wise this week. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.